Young Dolph is back once more with By Mistake, and between the song and the newly released music video, he truly brought it all.
Run up on this fire and get burnt,
Make sure to stay tuned throughout the video to not miss what Young Dolph wanted you to notice. Remember to leave a like and subscribe to King Trending for more future rap content, and let's get right into the video. Number 5. Young Dolph loves his money. It's not a lie to say or think that money is a driving force in the world today, and for many singers, there is a desire not to just get famous via their songs, but to make lots of money off of them. And to be fair, that's a legitimate goal. For a singer's lifespan is never focused or set, so the desire to get it early and then maintain that cash flow is a paramount for some. And apparently that's something Young Dolph is good at. After all, he talks about how much he's spending on money a lot throughout By Mistake.
Spent $500,000 just on furniture.
For example, just in the first verse, he notes that he spent $500,000 just on furniture. There's no doubt that people spend a lot of hard-earned money on furniture, but $500,000? That's a lot. Granted, we don't know how many pieces of furniture made up this quote-unquote $500,000, but if it was a 10-piece set that were put throughout the house, that's $50,000 per item. And more than likely, it was only a few pieces of furniture. How can furniture be that expensive? Well, as in all things, it depends on the type of furniture, who made it, and what materials are used to make it. For celebrities who can afford it, like Young Dolph, they can have very high-end furniture made, such as a couch that is made of very soft and fine leather. This is actually rather popular among certain circles. There's also the possibility that this could be a custom set, and that too costs a lot of money. Either way though, to say that you've spent $500,000 just on furniture just shows that you have the money to burn. And ironically, he didn't stop there in terms of talking about his money.
Name one that I can't fucking I give you $2 million.
During the second verse, he makes a challenge of sorts to the listener, and the reward for winning at said challenge is to get $2 million from him. That's a lot of money. And while a logical person can get around this challenge very easily, it's still a large amount of money to put up just for the simple thrill of a challenge. And yet he clearly has the money to make that bet. So why not make it happen? Only 3 lines later, he makes another reference to all the money he has, this time by saying, I just spent 100 and something thousand on a Dodge.
I just spent 100 and something thousand on a Dodge.
Now you might be thinking, wait, do Dodges usually cost that much? And the answer to that is no. However, there are some Dodge cars that could be over $100,000, and not all of them. One of them is the Dodge Demon, which was valued last year at $180,000. Now, like the furniture purchase, we don't know what kind of Dodge he used his money on, but if he did get $100,000 on a Dodge, that's another piece of proof that Young Dolph ain't afraid to go and get the stuff he likes. And it still doesn't end there. Young Dolph also sings about how he made a $100,000 investment on my wrist.
$100,000 investment, I invest on my wrist.
Emphasizing a very expensive watch. He also talks about dropping money on accident, which is something very odd indeed, except he makes so much money that he can take the hit. He even notes that the girl he's with in the song is on $1 million date with him, stating that he isn't afraid to go and spend a lot of money to impress the girl he's with. But why flaunt around the fact that you have money? Well, because Young Dolph is Young Dolph. He's brash, he's not afraid to go and show how much fame and money he has. For if he didn't, it's likely he would have think that he's lesser in some ways. And as previously noted, a lot of singers and rappers talk about their money and what they do with it. The only real danger here is that being a bit too loose with your money can lead to bad decisions and purchases, which has doomed a lot of people and could doom Young Dolph if he's not careful. But he seems fine with what he's doing.
I'ma get money long as I live.
Number 4. Young Dolph is sure of himself. If there's one thing that Young Dolph loves more than the money he has and the items he buys with that money, it's the fact that he's a superstar. He sings about it a lot in By Mistake, such as with the line, I was born a superstar, so I put one on my fist. So to Young Dolph, it's not that he thinks he's a superstar, he feels he's been one all of his life. And now he can confirm that day in and day out. He's never going to stop talking about it. After all, why should he? He's got everything he wants, everything he needs, and he's not gonna stop moving until he can make money and live his life. But in his mind, that's not something that will happen because he's Young Dolph and he's better than that. In fact, you could argue that the biggest meaning behind the lines, like the ones given before, is that he feels that he's better than everyone else. For example, when he's talking about getting with a girl, he notes that all she does is talk.
All she do is run her mouth, tell that bitch to suck a dick.
When she should be doing something else to please him, and that's it. That's a very old school way of thinking, and a dangerous one at that, but Young Dolph doesn't seem to mind to think this way. After all, he happily says, hate to brag, but I'm the shit.
Hate to brag, but I'm
Number 3. Young Dolph doesn't care what you think. Heading to the music video, Young Dolph keeps it very simple in terms of shots, sets, and more. And furthermore, he makes it clear that he doesn't care about your thoughts or feelings or stereotypes that you've put on him. Case in point, the very beginning of the video is him getting pulled over by a cop and laughing in his face before speeding away. This shows that it doesn't matter who you are, or your position, or even if you're the law. He's above that. Then there's the visual about what he's driving, who he's with, and where they go. He's driving a very slick-looking car and is riding with a very voluptuous woman. But instead of going to a very high-class place like you would expect to go if they had this kind of money or status, instead they go to a gas station, a mall, a Chinese restaurant, and more. So what does this show? That it doesn't matter how much money they have, if they like something, and if they want it, they'll go and get it no matter where it is, or how hot it may look. They don't care. And young Dolph certainly doesn't care. And if you need even more proof that he doesn't care what you think, both he and his voluptuous lady were more than happy to flip the bird multiple times during the video, mainly while they were driving their car down the street. That's the ultimate sign of disrespect for some, so for both young Dolph and this lady to do it, yeah, that's pretty clear in the meaning department. All of this ties back into the fact that young Dolph is sure who he is, and what he wants. And because of that, he doesn't really care what you think. Number 2. Young Dolph likes a Barbie doll. A mix of lyrics and songs here, let's talk about the line. White girl with me, and she looked like a Barbie doll. Barbie is, of course, one of the most popular toys of all time, and for many reasons. One is that the toy resonates with young girls and thus allows Mattel to make a lot of sales. The other is that Barbie has been done in so many different ways that she's a very versatile toy. But one thing she was meant to be was perfect. By that I mean the face, proportions, and more was meant to give her the image of a perfect girl/woman. So when people say that someone is like a Barbie doll, they can either mean that as an insult and say that she's plasticky, which honestly has happened before, or that she literally looks like a Barbie doll in terms of hair color and proportions. Ironically, young Dolph actually mixes these metaphors a bit with by mistake, because the woman he features in the video looks and acts like both versions of the "you look like a Barbie doll" phrase. On one hand, she is indeed blonde like Barbie, and unlike a Barbie doll, she turns heads when the girl enters a scene, and the camera is focused on her best parts, so to speak. Some people are even stunned when they see her because of her beauty. But also like a Barbie, she appears in numerous outfits throughout the video, and like the different versions of Barbie, she shows off a lot of personality in the different outfits. And yes, at times she does look a bit plasticky, but something tells me that was part of the reason young Dolph wanted her in the video.
Careful who you call your friend, they turn on you, nigga. For real.
Number 1. Young Dolph trusts no one. Trust means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but to young Dolph, it's not a word he likes to use that often. For example, in the final verse he sings out, "They smile up in your face, yup, but they really want your place, yup, ain't nobody straight, f*** 'em, just give me the cake, yeah." Everyone out there only wants one thing, and more accurately, what he has. Fame, fortune, the cars, the woman, and everything. They want it, and they'll cozy up to young Dolph to try and get a taste of it. A glimpse of it, if you will. But young Dolph knows the game, and thus happily makes another bet, one suited for this topic. Name one that ever made me a dime. I'll give you $1 million. He makes it very clear that he's earned his success on his own, and not one person helped him. Outside of the certain people in the studio and the agent, no doubt. But in terms of where he lived, where he grew up, he had no one, so he did it all himself. So why would he give anyone the time of day when they weren't there for him when he needed them in the past? Exactly. He wouldn't. Young Dolph even goes on to talk about how he doesn't even trust the law, because that's just as bad, which is no doubt why he had that scene with the officer in the beginning of the video. So it seems that there's only one person in the world that young Dolph can trust unconditionally, and that's young Dolph. What do you think of this breakdown of By Mistake by young Dolph? Do you find a new appreciation for the song? What do you think was the best part of either the song or music video? Did you see something that I missed? Let me know in the comments down below, and be ready for the next video where I break down more rap songs. Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these 3. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.